And if this doesn't work, I'll do something next time that will make it. There we go.
Oh yeah, you can see
Yep. We are live. So, here we go.
it. Yeah. Just
Thanks for joining us. First of all,
Phil, thank you. Thank you for letting me go and be able to stream on your thing. I get to show you Southern Oregon.
yeah, we're gonna have more of that, more Southern Oregon from you, right? Which you've already seen some crazy shit down there, right?
Oh yeah, you know, that's where all the Hitlers live. The real, well, they're not even really Hitlers, which is kind of funny to me. That's why, I think just somebody said it today. I think some of the words we pick are keeping people from being able to open up the doors that we need to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are calling them a bunch of racist pieces of shit. So I mean, which in truth, they probably do have a bunch of racist pieces of shit tendencies. But the truth is, we're all fighting one enemy, and it sucks because I'm ready to play chess.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm dead serious. I'm ready to play chess. I know how to play chess, and that's what the government plays with our life. They play chess. They think 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see a new freeway put in, like Medford, Oregon right now, and I said this in an older video, they got a freeway going in by the airport right now, brand new, and everybody's like, this was pointless. Because you're not that true privileged.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know why that freeway was put there.
Is lining somebody's pockets, right?
The privileged knows why it was put there, because it's their plans for that city 20 to 30 years down the road. You're not a part of those plans. That's how you know. And everybody think, well, all you gotta do is get in on the government and do all of this. Like, no. You remember when they went to clean Fremont Street up in Vegas? You don't get a pull on that. That's just because they want money. They want attraction.
Yep.
You're small fish. Look at the middle class right now in Medford, Oregon. They're fighting for no Circle K. You think they'll win that fight? No. Money talks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Middle class doesn't matter. Lower class doesn't matter. Middle class is that one person who's one step away from being just like me. Middle class is that person who's one step away from being like the guy underneath the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of them people, most of them people were truly there. It's the what they don't, no one wants to open their eyes to.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth, what no one wants to open their eyes to. So you got all the regular citizens who are affected by all this, don't want to come to the table and play chess against the government because one, they're either trying to line their own pocket, or two, they don't believe like fully what they keep hearing, or I just don't get it. I mean, I really don't, because they really playing chess with our life, and we ain't sat down not one time yet. Everybody has not came. Every group, every organization has not came and sat down at the table and said, we're tired of it. Look at the NAACP. Now we got a new one called BLM. And we're going to have some more coming up. You know what I mean? All these different organizations branching off. Why haven't they all came and sat down at the table?
So what do you think is needed?
Everybody needs to start coming and sitting down at the table.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think needed in Portland, God, I think Portland could win. That's why I keep coming up here.
Uh-huh.
Like, they got everything, man. What's needed in Portland is unity. You know what makes gangs so successful? Is unity. That's why the police hated them. The police, like, I'm a former gang member. Police hates them. Police can't stand them. The reason why is because they're unity. They come, they sit down, they talk, they figure things out. Just like if me and you have a difference, and I say, you know what? I don't care about the racist white boys. And you say, nope, fuck that, Clarence, I do. Just because me and you disagree doesn't mean we need to keep fighting and no longer try to help achieve our objective. We just figure out how to get past that and still achieve our objective. That's why we're losing as protesters, because that's what's happening. We'll say, or like, all cops are bad cops, or all cops are bastards. Why are we fighting over words? Why are we fighting over these small little things? We are people. That's how they're going to beat us, with words. I just did a drawing and it says, blind truth I mean, blind vision and half truths. The key to our world is through words. It's true. We're not talking, and even if we're talking, we're only trying to tell somebody what we want to hear. We're not really listening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we really gotta listen. I listen. I follow the streams like no other, reading everybody's posts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing, is your critics. They're gonna tell you what you need to fix. So everybody out in Portland that want to know what needs to be fixed in Portland, read the streams.
Forget the trolls, right?
Well, I mean, even the trolls help you. Because
They
tell
do.
you
They reveal something,
Because they
right?
tell you the things that other people are going to pick apart.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could clean it all the way up to where even the trolls are sitting there like, man, fuck this shit, then you got your shit.
I know,
back.
you know, it's like the trolls are really thin at like those daytime
I like the
community
trolls.
healing events and
I
the family
I wish
events.
The trolls to come out. I want the trolls to like come
Well, you got to
out.
be careful. Those are the ones who
Don't
wish
play
us
right.
harm.
Yeah,
too.
they don't play right. Well, I mean, they're so worried about people's voices that maybe they should come out and try to learn how to find theirs. I mean, in truth.
Or learn a little bit, right?
Or learn a little bit. 'Cause
Some people
guess
do
what?
learn.
Hurt people only hurt people. And believe it or not, everybody's hurting. Most people who you call trolls, the reason why they're sitting here trolling us is because they're not happy with their true life.
Mm-hmm.
They're mad at home or they got some own personal stuff going on. We all hurt broke people. So in reality, instead of people being crabs in a bucket and having an elephant thinking, and people don't know what that is, it's when they chain the elephant to the ground by a little chain about this big, and the elephant never breaks the chain and it could with no problem. That's the thinking that we got as human beings. It's called elephant thinking and crab in the bucket thinking, where one person's trying to climb itself out or give a new ideal that nobody have ever heard, and before you can even fathom the ideal, you snatch them down and say no. That's a crab in a bucket. So I mean, that's how the black community got really tore open. It was a crab in a bucket effect with drugs, heroin, cocaine. That's what messed us up. I mean, it's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but whites are starting to really feel the effects that African Americans felt for years. So I say in the last 10 years, the white communities have been hit really hard by heroin and methamphetamines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 20, 30 years ago, the black and the prescription drugs. But that's what they just got hit with. 30 years ago, it was black communities with heroin and cocaine. So that's why I keep trying to explain to a lot of people why it's so important that we come to the table and truly discuss what's going on. Because it's a lot more than going on than just schools, because when I was a kid, I couldn't even go to school because of my game. I remember I used to play the cello and the violin, my nigga, on everything I love. And I stopped playing all that shit because I got chased home too many times. And then after about the fourth time I got chased home, I said, fuck that. I grabbed my pistol. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's thinking. And it's low poverty thinking. And it's true thinking too. I was just explaining that to someone else. Like when I was a gang member, like everybody said, well, Clarence, what got you into that? I said, because everything they told me was real. They told me ain't nobody coming down here to look out for you. Man, you gotta take care of yourself. Don't nobody want to hear you crying down here. Clean that up. You know what I mean? They toughen you up. They show you what's real and what's not.
And they did.
And they not lying to you. They don't sugarcoat nothing. They'll tell you flat out, I ain't doing nothing for you either. You know what I mean? You gotta get up and do it on your own, I mean. You know what I mean? But they don't lie to you.
Back.
They got your back. And they don't Indian you. Or I don't like calling Indian. Not Indian you. Do them like the white man did the Indians. Let me clear my words up really well because I love them. But like like they did the Indians, the white one. You know how they say, oh man, let's sit down, let's eat, everything's good, blah, blah, blah. Poison and kill them. Like that's the Indian, and that's what a lot of people are starting to do. Is to poison a person with words, and that's why I just don't get it. A lot of it I don't, because if we all put our own selfish greed to the side and thought just about a community in the whole, we win, man. We win great. It's just like Soraya.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell us that story?
I was getting pissed today because Soraya has nothing to do with me. Soraya is just a personal story for me. I went out to Coos Bay because somebody asked me to go out there, and I went out there and heard about the story. And the girl didn't even set the house on fire. She had a mental breakdown. My daughter lost her house, Tucson, that had a mental breakdown too. Except for I called the police 5 times.
How old is your daughter?
3. And so I called the police 5 times and told them, hey, this dude need help. And when they came to my house, they looked me in my face and was like, Clarence, for real, you called me? And I was like, yeah, man, this dude need mental help, man. Like, he's throwing shit at my house like he needs mental help. They told me, Clarence, call me when you got a real problem. We know you could take care of him. I was like, what y'all want me to do? Knock him out and put him to sleep or something? Like, what is you doing, man? Like, for real, like, what are you doing? They were like, man, bye, Clarence. 6 o'clock that morning, I ran out the house with my daughter, with my house in flames. Ran back in, got my kid's mom, her son, 2 other little kids, and another grown person. And it's just sad.
And this guy set the house on fire.
Yeah, he got 2 months in jail. That's what I had on my phone. I was going to show you all the documentation. 6 months ago, my daughter walked into the cell phone store, and she was like, oh, Jim, you burned my house down, and flipped out. And
Your 3-year-old daughter.
My 3-year-old daughter. She wakes up still crying about it.
PTSD,
Yeah.
basically.
And then she's not even listed as a victim. She's not even listed as a no contact. The only no contact he got is from the property owner.
And what happened to Soraya?
Soraya got 11 years.
For
not even burning the house down, for having a mental break and almost wanting to pour gas. 11 years for attempting and saying she wanted to. This motherfucker burnt my whole house down. And then burnt my mother-in-law's trailer down, his trailer, and cost 13 people their homes. January 1st, 2019 in Medford, Oregon.
Wow.
And James Otto was his name. So, ATTO. Yeah, and it's sad, man, because then you go to these places and you hear him say, there's no racial injustice, you know, or there's no racism here, or there's none of this there. And then you get to point it out on, if it's not racist injustice, then it's just blatant abuse of your power. And if you're blatantly going to abuse your power like that, you don't deserve it anyway. You know, I mean, honestly, I don't believe no man deserves power over another man's life, because you're going to abuse it anyway.
That's right.
If I come in on a traffic ticket, Judge Brown, Vegas, remember that? He can't go in there on a traffic ticket, because however long you get in jail depend on how his day is going. You know what I mean? And a lot of people believing in these lawyers. I remember Larry Roloff, Oregon lawyer. I know y'all gonna be like, man, let's check these names. Larry Roloff. It's a lawyer that says, hey, I'll tell you what, give me $5 grand, I'll get you 2 years. You give me 20 grand, I'll get you out. So, I mean, the whole entire system is screwed and crooked.
Did you
know what
try?
I mean? Who, me?
Did you try to get his help?
Did I get
That
out?
guy.
No, Larry Roloff? No.
Yeah,
No,
no.
because everybody that he worked, never mind.
Does he work? Does he work people
Larry
over?
Roloff is a shitty lawyer.
So he says that, but he doesn't do it.
No, but no, that's just how he is. He's a fucked up lawyer. That's just saying, like, that's how he goes at his clients.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you give me this amount of money. That's how it's always been everywhere, huh? You give me this amount of money, and you could get this much time. You give me this amount of money, I could get you off. Now, I don't even got to explain that more.
It's always a matter of privilege, right?
It's all, yeah, privilege of money. It's always privilege of money.
Yeah.
If you got money, you're golden. You ain't
You
got no money.
You can pay to have palm screws.
Rule number 1 in the game is make sure you got your money for your lawyer put up.
Right.
Rule number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So once you got your money for your lawyer put up, pretty much you're golden, because that is your privilege then.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes your privilege. That's like, everybody keeps saying educate. Here's a bomb education. Selective prosecutorial. Nobody uses this law. Selective prosecutorial is a law that's saying how they're charging protesters right now. Here's some education for protesters. If they charge one protester, they must charge every protester that they could find. And the reason why is because if not, it's selective prosecutorial. They picked and chose who they wanted to charge. So unless you charge everyone in the whole accumulated group, you can't even charge one, because it's selective prosecutorial. We don't use those laws in our favor. Another one, fruit of a poisonous tree is a true law. Fruit of a poisonous tree is a true law.
So what is it?
So basically an informant is fruit of a poisonous tree. meaning an informant is somebody who has been caught committing a crime, meaning he's going to do whatever he can to get off of that case. Any
Oh, them
evidence
turning people
turning
against
people
their
over, yes, that's
comrades,
fruit
yep.
of a poisonous tree.
And
that they
we've heard
keep.
stories of that with the feds kidnapping people, threatening them with felony charges.
Yeah, and it's fruit of a poisonous tree. So every time they use people like that, it's a law that they break against all the time, and they use it. We don't use the laws that we should use, like price gouging laws.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. Like,
I mean, yeah, the whole antitrust system is pretty broken right now too.
yeah, it's always.
I hope you're watching, by the way, Spencer. Spencer's our rights lawyer friend who, yeah, he's going to be very interested in a lot of this stuff in terms of what we can do also.
And back to Soraya though. That's my thing. That's like my main kick right now. Soraya, and the reason why I'm pushing so hard for her is a lot of people fail to realize that K Brown has power beyond what most people want to admit or want to think about or even want to give her. Look how many people K Brown done pardoned this year alone. A governor could pardon anybody she wants. She could let that girl go tomorrow. So that's why came back to Portland, because I want everybody to start screaming out Soraya's name. Soraya's name should be getting yelled out, because guess what? When I used to sit in them cells, I used to feel like I couldn't breathe in there. When I was sitting in jail when I was 16 for attempted murder off a charge I didn't do, my homeboy did, I used to sit there every day and wait for that cell to open because I knew I didn't fuck up. You know what I mean? And when that cell never came, it fucking crushed me. So I can only imagine what Soraya is going through, knowing all she was doing asking for help, and she's stuck in that fucking cage. And right now, everybody could be screaming her name, banging on a Cape Brown door in her neighborhood, I don't care, anywhere, asking, you done took a black life, we want this one back. Soraya. I don't know why everybody's not screaming that girl name out. That's the black life everybody should be asking for, because they done took plenty of them from us. And as far as like all that money and everything, we're still talking about money. And there's an innocent girl life we could be saving. That's the difference.
How old is Soraya?
14 years old.
Put in prison for 11 years.
For 11 years.
Tried as an adult, I take it? Or
well, out in Oregon, you do your juvenile thing and then they flip it over or however. I'm not for sure, but even our juvenile is just as bad.
But she's going to pass 18 and still be in jail.
And still be there.
Till she's 24.
Yep. And then
Or
the cold
25.
part, what's the difference? They treat them the same. Strip out, random strip searches. They eat like shit. They treat them like shit. They throw them in a box. You stay in your box most of the time. Your light's on 24 hours a day. So anybody tell you that's not good for your mental. I remember coming home and all the things
Especially
I had
for
to go
a
through.
child.
Yeah, but people aren't caring about the people locked away.
And you spent some time in jail, right?
14 years.
How old were you when you first went in?
13.
Wow.
So, and everybody say, oh, it was your choice. I promise you, it wasn't my choice. I did what I had to do to survive. That's the streets.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I get mad.
So that means you joined a gang at 13?
Yeah.
And that's what got you in jail?
Yeah. It took everything from me. So, but the reason why I'm out here now is because I just want to make something different. I've taken a lot from the community, and the one thing I know I could give back is something positive. So that's why I come out here now.
People are asking Soraya's name because they want to look up her story.
Oh, Justice for Soraya on Facebook. Justice for Soraya out of Coos Bay, Oregon.
Okay. How do you spell that? S-A-R...
See? Oh, so right.
Oh, it's with a C?
S-A-Y-A-R-A. I'm finna give it to you for sure. But, yeah,
Wait,
man.
S-A-Y? Sayara?
It's spelled S-A-Y-A.
Let's get it right
Yeah,
for
yeah,
everybody
'cause it's
watching. Because we got
important.
people watching who...
No, this is really important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, by the way.
Oh, I do have it on front of me. Her car. It's
Thank you for asking.
S-A-R-A-Y-A.
That's it, yeah.
S-A-R-A-Y-A. And they got Facebook, they got all of that, but it's Justice for Soraya is her main thing. But like I say, I heard something really tight today about white privilege. They said the white allies love to send letters. You guys should flood Cape Brown. that little girl should be the only name black people are screaming like.
You know, we
that
got some people who are good at that too. I mean, I know that Augustina, one of our streamers, Augustina Elizabeth, for anybody watching, she's on Instagram most of the time, has filed a lot of letters with the governor's office already, especially about the use of state troopers. You know, she was attacked by state troopers
Yeah.
and sent to the hospital. A lot of people have the same story, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Here, I'm gonna say this, and I wasn't. When I first came to Portland, I was mad about them tearing the buildings up. You remember that?
Yeah,
I told
I
you.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when we first met.
Yeah, and you were
Yeah.
like, "You all right, bro?" I was like, "Nah, man."
But people
This-
were feeling your energy.
Yeah, I said, "This
Yeah.
is not what Black life is about." But like, I actually went home and I wrote my diary. They've taken people's dads, their mothers, their soul, their life, their everything. And you're sitting here really crying and whining about some damn buildings. You want to know what to help Black life? Return all they daddies. You want to know what to help Black life? Return all they mamas. You know what to help white life and all of their life? Return our families. You still have them in a cage. Ain't none of them coming home. Coronavirus is here. Everybody's dying all over. You should be hurrying up and putting them back home. They're only in there from the drugs you put on the streets, Mr. Government. That's the truth. 90% of your crime rate is from drug crime. I don't hear not one person on this whole entire movement say anything about attacking drugs yet. They want to attack gangs, and gang is a mental concept. It's a mind thing that you can help brothers come up out of. Drugs, completely different. That needs to be attacked totally. So while we're sitting here and they say, what will help Black life? I just gave you a whole nother list, like I've done in my other videos, of things that will help Black life. What will help Black life is when you take a serious approach to your drugs. What will help Black life is when you start letting their families come home, or even improve the visiting to where they could get to see
Stop
their kids.
abducting families to
Stop
borders.
abducting- Yeah,
back
it's
to
just
their
a
families.
hoarder. Like the work center I was talking about. So, I mean, there's a lot, man.
So many
But-
stories too, right?
Yeah, but the main story, I believe, like a life for a life. They took a lot of lives from people. There's literally one little Black life that I know of. Because if there's another one, I would love to know it. I will fight for it too.
Well, and there's Black Lives Lost.
No,
too.
I'm saying the ones that
Yeah.
we could save that are in there innocently right now. We should be fighting for them until we can't fight no more. That's what we should be fighting for. I don't believe in money.
And you've been around to the prisons in Oregon protesting already, right?
No, I went to the ones in Medford. I've been trying to get a group to go protest the prisons and ask the inmates to do a strike. And instead of us fund like riot ribs and feed them, to send the inmates money to put money on their books for their canteen and stuff until the inmates don't work.
Is there
That's-
any limit on how much money can be sent to inmates?
No,
No?
no. And then see,
So we
that's-
can fundraise and send it straight to them.
Send it straight to them
And-
and tell them sit on their bunks
And
we'll
don't
con-
work.
Don't work, and we'll continue to make sure that they're okay. Hey, that hits their industry. That's Victoria's Secret. That's ice cream parlors that people don't think of. That's the Oregon
That's the
DMV.
cars
That's
for the casino.
that's the casinos. That's laundry mats. That's like things people wouldn't even fathom. So
And
I
people
mean,
here saying too about the drugs that they should be treated as a mental health thing, not
it
as
is a
criminal
mental health thing,
Yep.
and it's not a criminal thing. I
Exactly.
tell you what, man. Oh, shame. I love that word. Because I really don't care about trolls. So it's easy. I'm a recovering addict. And when I see
A lot of
addict-
us are too.
Huh?
A lot of us are.
Okay, but when I say a recovering addict, I mean, you see the crazy guys that you see down the street walking and they're talking to themselves and they're completely lost. That was me. About what? 2 years ago?
I think so.
Not about 2
Yeah.
years ago. That was me.
Were you
lost.
living on the street?
I wasn't living on the street. I always had family, my kids, my place, but I was lost. Trust me, you did not want to see me. And the saddest part is that it was the same thing. I just felt like the world didn't care. And then when I had my daughter and I got closer and closer to my daughter, I felt love again, and it helped me recover myself. So while they sitting here talking bad about all these addicts, a lot of those addicts are on self roads of trying to find themselves or just going through so much pain that they don't want to see nothing else. So I mean, and I'm only speaking as someone been there. At least they're not sitting there in a relationship like most of these people in square lives. And
Who fall
sleeping,
into that, yeah.
or no, just sleeping next to somebody for 30, 40 years and don't even want to be with them, only there because of financial reasons.
Oh man, that's a whole nother thing. There's
You see what I mean?
reasons.
But
Yeah,
I
no,
meant, so
yeah.
we need to stop talking bad about people and what's wrong with people and how we could start fixing half of this. You know, I heard people talking about, oh, people living in relationships with abusive boyfriends through all of this, and we got to figure something. That's been going on. Why is that new to the Black Lives Matter table when, honestly, that's going on with every nationality?
And yeah, people hurting each other is
Yeah.
part of the problem that we need to
vicious
fix.
cycle that we need to fix. So if we start, like I said, remember earlier, coming to that chessboard and finally playing, and just admit that this is all of our problem. Every nationality, every ethnicity,
Yep.
we're all facing this problem. And if you don't think so, you're only one step closer to it. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. And then we can start going to the table and really attacking something. But as long as they got us divided, then we're already
It's solving
lost.
problems as a community, right?
Yeah, because that solves all their problems. Because we're going to fight amongst each other.
And I think that's the power of what's going on in Portland right now is the community has a chance at
because they have so much power.
building power and,
Holy
and
crap! Yes,
I mean-
look at the different groups.
really making this change that we want to see radically and set that example. Not like the stupid shit like, oh, we'll fine them for the fence and
No,
what else?
no.
I mean,
no.
it's still there. I saw it
Yes.
today.
Imagine if
they don't care how much it costs.
all those groups came together and says, all right, enough. We're all going to come to the table. We're all going to pick one thing that we want and what we would like to see accomplished. And we're going to attack that. When it's done, we'll go back to the table, pull another thing out the hat.
You know, and
we'll
it's
attack
funny
that.
because like the city council, in theory, between them and the citizen review committee, that's just people from the community, is supposed to be able to do that, but they talk and like action doesn't happen. We send messages, you know, through this committee, but
Because I believe
like
in
where is the
aggressive-
actual change?
Because we haven't moved from protesting to a revolution yet.
Hello, Mont.
That's you want my truth? We're still protesting. When
Yeah.
we move from the revolution, we won't protest no more. We're actually going to be going straight to the problem. Like this girl with Soraya. Me personally, I believe, why aren't we asking Kate Brown? I take it straight to Kate Brown and ask her, hey, here's a racial bias right now we're showing you on legal paperwork. Here you go. And she'd be like, well, no, we're sitting here telling you fix this. We're not leaving till you fix this. You know what I mean? Like, you see my Facebook, how I approached the officer that locked my mom up? Aggressive.
Was that at the courthouse window or?
Not that one, the one in Ashland, Oregon.
No,
where,
tell us about it.
The officers locked my mom up because I refused to sign a plea deal for 17 years. And
For her or?
No, I got into a fight and I busted the guy's head open right here. A fight over my sister, and it was a drug deal gone bad.
And you were gonna maybe go to jail for 17 years.
Yeah, and I wouldn't take the deal. So my lawyer came in. Remember I told you crooked lawyers? He said, Clarence, if you don't sign this deal, when I walk out this room, they're gonna arrest your mom. I said, how in the hell is that? Oh, and I pulled that today. I'm glad you asked me this. He said, I said, what do you mean? How do you know that? And he was like, well, they're outside waiting to see if you sign this deal. Now, just the logic thinking would tell you there's something wrong with that. Why would my lawyer know the police are going to go out and get my mom after this? And literally, he did. And I went back upstairs. By the time I called home, my mom was locked up. And my family started getting mad. And I said, oh, well, my mama shouldn't have took them the guns. My mom thought it was, since the police was looking for me, she didn't want me to have the guns, so she took them to the police. 4 of them. Or 2 of them. Yeah, it was the 2 that they found on the highway because I found them looking. I already got convicted. So there's
And were
nothing
you
they
a
could do.
felon coming out of prison already?
Yeah, I was already
Okay.
coming out of
Yeah.
prison. And so anyways, they ended up using that situation, saying my mom was a witness because of that, and going out and locking her up as a hostile witness.
Wow.
Luckily today, so 48 days, between the 48 days, what happened was the first time they locked my mom up, a week later they came and said, all right, Clarence, we'll give you 12 years. I told them, kiss my ass. They came and took me to solitary confinement, and they call it the sweat box room.
This is still jail. Too.
Yeah, it's still jail. And they put me in the sweat box room, and I'm like, what the fuck
a
is
fucking
this?
sweat box in a jail.
Yeah, and they turn the heat up to 100. You be in your drawers, literally sweating out. No reading, no books, no phones, no nothing. This is
God.
in Medford, Oregon.
I thought we were done with that kind of
no,
stuff,
right
right?
off their elevator. You get off the elevator and there's 3 doors right there. Bam, swear to God.
Like
Hey,
metal boxes out in the sun?
Like, no, it's just
Or-
what they call them sweat boxes because it's like, no, it's got a door and they can shut it on you, on the window. They can shut it and you can't see shit. And it's just it's just, you can't see shit. No human contact and you can't see shit. And they turn the heat up. That's why they call it sweat box. And they put me in there and blocked every number. Even and fuck the NAACP. I said that personally right here. I called the NAACP at least 20 times when I got jumped by the 18 white supremacists and when I got thrown in a hole and they didn't do shit. They are not for black people like they lie and say.
They're for privileged.
They're for
people?
privileged people who could pay that $600 and something fucking bullshit fee that
Really?
I don't have.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and even if you're black, they still don't do it for free. But back to my point, they had me in there, man, Phil. They offered me 12 years. I said no. They offered me 10 years. I said no. The day before Thanksgiving, they offered me 90 months or 7 years. I told them, fuck no. And this whole
So
time,
you fought it the whole time?
48 days. Finally, my family was flipping out on me because it was the only number I could call. And finally, I broke down and was like, fuck it, man. I went to my lawyer. I said, if they give me 70 months, I'll sign it right now. And they were like, yeah? And I was like, yeah, I'll sign it. And they knew I was good at law. So they were like, well, Clarence, we got to sentence you tomorrow because we know if we release your mom tonight, you'll withdraw your plea. That was my plan, too. So they illegally sentenced me the next day just so I could get my mom out. So they and that's the video, is me confronting the officer. I'm like, you're fucked up for what you did. And he's like, like, you're fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Like, they're just fucked up people, bro. I mean, they think what they do is okay. They think it's fine, but in truth, it's not. And that's why like today, a couple of brothers I spoke to, I said, have you ever been locked up? And they were like, nah. And then I says, now I see why everybody's pushing for what they're pushing for. Of course, I'm a push for people who've been locked up before because I know the worst of that situation. You know what I mean? But in turn, we got to start pushing for people we normally wouldn't push for, because I'm more inclined to push for homeless people right now, which I've been fighting for since day one, than I am for people who are locked up, because then I know I'm in the right step. If you're looking out for the people that's already in the same circle that you've been living in and you've been accompanied with, then you're in the wrong step. Because even like white privilege, all privilege need to be stepping out and doing something for the lower. Because as long as till you bring the lower half up, we'll never catch up to the top half at all. It just doesn't work that way.
That's right. You know, your daddy's on TV right now.
Come on, Star.
You want to be on TV
Come on,
too?
come and say hi. Tell them who matters. Come on.
Go ahead.
Come here, please. Tell them about your house.
Yeah.
They want to hear about Jim.
Let's hear your stories.
Yeah, don't be
Go
shy.
ahead, introduce her
You
too.
came all the way.
Who is
This
this?
is Alizé. This is my daughter.
What's her name?
Alizé. This is,
Alizé?
and Jim. She's not even listed as a no contact. The only person that's a no contact is the property, the value, the property owner, not her.
Can't burn our house down.
You know what
Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
Did you see Jim again? What was wrong with Jim? Huh? He okay now though? Are you mad at him? No, be honest. Stop. Don't show up. Be honest. Are you mad at him? Or did he need help?
Need help.
He needed help? What about all the other people? What do you think about the protesters? What do you think about the police? Why don't you like the police? No, tell them. Why don't you like the police?
Because they're ugly.
No, don't be a brat. You gotta be honest. Tell them what you tell me.
Remember what I tell you?
Yeah, you can tell them.
I don't remember.
I do. What about their mean?
Oh.
Hmm?
Me?
You don't remember what you said? But yeah, anyways, like, it's been a lot. Like, my daughter, I just was talking to somebody on Facebook about it. They were like, oh, yeah, it's smart. Take your daughter there to learn. Fuck the police, Clarence. What's the only word you're not allowed to say, Alize?
Hey.
What word?
Hey.
Hate.
That's the only word.
That's the only word she's not allowed to say. You know, the reason why is because that word holds power. Hate means a lot in my mind. You could say, I don't want my... And a lot of people say, well, that's dumb. Well, a lot of women are running around in the world referring to themselves as bitches. To me, that's dumb. A bitch is a female dog. So I want my daughter educated enough to where when someone say, hey, bitch, she gonna be able to look around and say, I don't see a female dog, because I know what that word implies and it means. So I just teach my daughter different. Don't knock my teaching unless you're gonna come and ask me, what am I trying to accomplish?
Excuse me.
So, I mean, we all can learn from each other. We just got to be willing to open up to hear something. No, yeah, that is.
This?
But, no, the big soda.
Big soda. not the can.
And this is what I'm out here for. Exactly what you just saw. Everybody say, go get a good job. I pay $500 and something a month. I pay $254 to the 18 white supremacists that jumped me. So, in
What, they
accounting-
made you give up your money? They mugged you?
No, I owe them $20,000 in restitution for jumping me.
Wait,
And,
you owe them for jumping you.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that what the system decided?
Yeah, that's what the system decided. Yeah.
Wow. And so what did they came after you for the money you had in your pocket?
No, they anytime I go get a job, they take $254 out of my check a month, and plus with my other daughter's
Oh,
child
garnishment.
support. Yeah, and then I paid child
So if you have a
support.
job, your money gets garnished.
And I paid child support for a kid I had custody of. So, so I mean, the system is all about money, man. We all know that. It's like they don't care about nothing but money. Like, it's getting
It's true.
sick.
We're seeing that here too.
Yeah, and everybody say, well, what poisoned the black communities? Money, gold, silver, all of that stuff that everybody keeps digging up out of the ground that ain't getting humanity nowhere but making us look prettier and getting us somewhere faster. The same thing we're all selling ourselves out for. You know, and people don't believe that this is racial. I mean, that this isn't a humanity thing and it's racial. Here's one thing for all of my white allies. Go ask your kids an honest question. Go say, what's the one thing that you really don't have in your life that you really want? Parents, you're working too much. You're gone too much. You're too busy. By the time, go do the math. Math never lies. Go do the mathematics of how much time you work, sleep, eat, and take care of your normal habits. And then the rest of it means that's how much time you got to be a dad or be a mom. I guarantee you, if you do that math, you're gonna be mad. But you really have to do the math. And don't forget, sleeping is not a part of time of spending time with your kids. And neither is sitting there cooking. That's not quality time with your kids. Everybody says, what do you need to do to fix the black community? Give them free rent. That solves all the black community problems. It gives them time if they want to go out and work. They give them time to do that.
For a little bit.
Free rent does a
It's
lot for
holding
the black
itself
community.
okay.
No, I can hold it. and
So,
it-
I mean, why everybody's worried about money? No.
It's
While we're
holding itself.
stop, be good, mama.
She really wants to hold the camera.
Yeah, I'll let you hold mine. But why everybody's worried about money? Free rent. It fixes everything for the black poverty community. It fixes everything for the poverty community. There's
Why
more.
don't you guys talk for a minute?
There's
Keep,
more
keep
broken
talking
homes.
to each other. I'm gonna go get our pizza.
All right. I mean, there's more broken homes literally from just 90% of your problems would be fixed if black communities had places where they were at home. I believe that's mainly all the problem.
I will come with you.
Where you going, mama?
I'm getting the pizza.
But
I'll come with you.
it's just sad, man. It's just property. And that's why, like, I don't tear up property or none of that, but I finally understand Portland on why they tear this motherfucker down. Because the government don't deserve it. They don't deserve none of us or none of this shit. But, yeah. Boy, you want to come talk on video? I don't like talking. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, bro. For real, what do you think gonna help the brothers? What do you think is gonna help brothers?
Unity.
Huh?
Unity.
Unity.
Yeah.
But what's gonna bring unity amongst brothers?
Stop all the jealousy and envy.
What's gonna do that?
I don't know.
Well, you gotta know. You got that far. If it's jealousy and envy, stop. If it's jealousy and envy, you think would stop. Well, yeah. And because we don't know. It's the willingness to listen.
Hungry? I'll get you.
Huh?
I'll be right back. Okay.
And talk through our differences. I guess that's what I would say. That's what I've been telling most people. I guess that's for everybody, though. Because we don't talk through our differences, bro. You know what I mean? If I sit there and I tell you,
Yes, he's here.
I don't like this or I don't like that, you know what I mean? The first thing you're gonna do is get pissed off and walk off.
And think violent.
And think violent. Yeah, that's real shit.
So,
And,
what you need to do is vote.
And vote? What's
For
voting
the
gonna
God.
do for me?
The vote will help you get the way to go.
Is it gonna
home.
save Soraya?
Yeah.
No, it won't. We need a pardon.
Pardon, yes.
We want Soraya pardon. Come on,
Soraya,
you gotta come over
pardon.
here. Tell him Kate Brown. No, you ain't getting on camera? You little brat.
He said,
I know, she told him, no, I could say every word except for hate. I know I'm gonna get hella backlash for that shit. But it's true. At least she knows how to talk. You hear how she talks? She knows how to go past her emotions to her words. Hmm? Yeah.
Do you
Oh,
want pizza?
that's another thing I think Black Lives
You hungry?
need
We got pizza.
is that emotional spiritual cleansing. To start learning about that deep-rooted hate and that deep-rooted, it's not even deep-rooted, I wouldn't say hate or anger. Anger, that's the correct word. Why did I say hate?
he take them some
But what are they doing?
watching a movie.
Oh, but that's just the way I feel, man. I'm not nobody. What the fuck do I know? I don't know nothing, truthfully. I got a 5th grade education.
It's not recording no more.
Huh?
It's not recording.
It's not?
No.
Oh, Phil, you ain't on live no more?
Oh, I think we're still going.
Yeah, let me take them some pizza.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm finna go out so I can smoke my blunt and I'm being blinded.
All right, we done for now?
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I hope I gave y'all enough to think about. If y'all
Thank
really
you,
want
everybody.
that information, I'll give it to Phil and he can post it and give it to y'all. I got all the court
Oh,
dates.
so Indy was commenting that she's very articulate.
Oh, my
It's-
daughter.
it's true,
yeah.
right? Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, that's. I try not to. I learned we lie to our kids about Santa Claus. We lie to our kids about everything.
Yeah. What's that?
And as we get older, we're the ones
You
that
want-
hurt
you
our
want the-
kids the most with our lies, because then we try to cover them up and we try to do all this other stuff. My daughter knows Santa Claus ain't real, Easter Bunny ain't real.
She
A lot
says,
of people,
I'm not a vegan.
a lot of people say I'm wrong because I don't give her that child experience. But my daughter can also tell you when she starts acting like another kid. She can tell you the kid that she's acting like.
Whoa, 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 don't,
So
don't.
my daughter knows how to separate fiction.
She just hit the end button.
Uh-uh.
Bye, everybody. Bye. I think our live is ending
Oh.
because of her. If it's,
She ended it.
actually, well, it might be stuck.
Oh.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I
Sorry.
think she hit the button like it was a
Oh.
phone record.
No, I did not.
All right, everybody, we'll be back